Hi. Well, unfortunately, I can get this up right. My tree guy never came today yet to trim my tree. He'll probably come now that I'm doing this, but I thought maybe I can get another Bible story in. And last time that we were talking about Moses, the girls brought him home to show him off to their father, but they didn't realize that Moses was the prince of Egypt at all. He was all grubby and unshaven, dirty, and he never even told them he was the prince of Egypt. He liked what he saw, he liked where he was, he loved everything about it, and especially being surrounded with all these girls. Anyway, the girl's father's name was Jethro. And Jethro was quite a prominent man in the area, big area, but prominent man. And so one day, I say Joseph all the time, Moses, he fell in love with the oldest daughter, and he asked if he could marry her, and he said, sure, you can marry her, because she's the oldest daughter. She goes first anyway. So they got married. And they had a little boy named Gershom, and they were just living the life and loving it out. Moses was so happy. He never was happy in Egypt at all. It says he turned his back on all the wealth of Egypt. He was so happy out in that area. He listened to the birds, and he could lay in the grass and just watch the sheep, and maybe, like I used to, I'd put a stick of grass in my mouth and just look up at the clouds and chew on the end of a piece of grass or something. Well, that's the kind of life he was living, and he loved it. And he was a good daddy to Gershom, too. And then one day, after a few years, he was out there by himself, and he saw a bush on fire, and it was up in the mountain. And he thought, what is going on here? There's a big fire up there. And it was on a mountain that didn't have hardly any green on it at all. So he went up there to check it out. Well, while he's traveling up to go up this mountain, meanwhile, back in Egypt, I neglected to tell you that Moses had a big brother too. You know, he had a sister, Miriam, who's a little older, and she was watching over him while he was in the basket. But there was a bigger brother too, and his name was Aaron. And so one day, Aaron said, I wonder whatever happened to my brother. And he was real curious about that. And the old Pharaoh had died that was so cruel, but one that was even more cruel took over. And he says, I gotta let Moses know about this. So he went out searching for Moses. That's a lot of searching to do, but he'd stop at the little tent villages and ask all around. Couldn't find him, but he was getting closer. But he wanted Moses to know that his people were being so abused. It was just horrible. They could hardly take it. And it says that God even heard their cries coming up to him for help. Please help us. And remember, these are the Israelites whom God had promised to give all of Canaan land to through their forefathers. And here they are, slaves in Egypt, just under such cruelty. So Moses started up the mountain to see what was going on with this bush that was burning up there. And finally, kind of partway, Aaron found him. And, they hugged and everything. It's been so many years. Moses was out there for 40 years, loving the life, not missing Egypt at all. And I'm going to leave off right there for right now. When the two brothers meet up again, and Moses is going to see what's going on up in the mountain. Bye-bye.